Hi, I am here with the true story from the Angel book. Here's a picture. The story we're going to read right now is called Blessed Be the Horse. You can see the angel and the horse here. Pretty. There's a lot of pretty angel pictures in this book. I'm going to cut them out when I'm done with the book. This one is by Jill Manzer from New Jersey. Her business therapy, her business style, all things are possible. Okay, let's begin. Horses have always been my passion, but I never thought I'd own a horse farm. One where I taught children and adults, many with special needs, to ride. God had made that possible. When I first started out, I felt like He and I were partners. He was on the farm with me as I fed and watered the animals, cleaned their stalls, talked with the riders. But over time, the daily struggles of running a business made me feel as if I were on my own. I felt the weight of my doubts on my shoulders the afternoon a 10-year-old student came to say goodbye at the end of her lesson. Before getting into her parents' car, she paused and looked around at the stables and pastures. You know, Miss Jill, you have a fence that goes all the way around your property. Well, without a fence, the horses would wander off and might get hurt. She shook her head. Not that fence, she said. It's a fence of peace. A fence of peace, I said. What does it look like? She frowned, as if choosing her words carefully. You know how when it's hot and you can see a shimmer in the air over the pavement? It's like that. I can see it as soon as our car pulls up. I watched her walk away, trying to see the shimmer she described. Could it be true that God was so present here still? A few days later, I worked with a little boy who was about 8 years old and had autism. We brought him over to one of the horses. 3 employees and I laid our hands on the animal and said a prayer. Lord, we ask you to give this horse love, patience, kindness, and goodness. The horse nickered as if in answer. I helped the boy climb on the horse's back. Another employee took the lead rope. I walked on one side and 2 other employees walked on the other. Here we go. That's a good boy, I encouraged the horse. Our little rider looked around. He clearly enjoyed the sensation of being on the horse. Although he couldn't tell us himself, he didn't easily speak, and I had never heard him utter a word. I hoped he was enjoying the clear sunny day, the gentle rocking of the horse, the smell of the hay and leather as much as I was. Slowly and steadily we walked into the horse pen. In an instant the horse stumbled, lurching sharply to the side. He steadied himself quickly, but I was worried the boy had been frightened. Are you okay, buddy? To my surprise, the boy wasn't looking at the horse beneath him, or at the ground where he had stumbled. He was looking up into the sky, as if admiring the clouds above. Angels, he said. What? I asked. Angels, the boy repeated, still gazing up at the sky. The employees with the lead rope and I exchanged glances. Angels. I gazed into the sky. Did angels shimmer like heat rising from a hot pavement? If they were present, I couldn't see them. Days later, I readied another horse. It's up to me to keep the children safe, I reminded myself, especially during this lesson. This particular student could be hard to control and regularly received low marks on behavior chart. Her parents kept at home. I didn't know how we could help her. She told me flat out, in fact, that she didn't like horses. But she did like Fuzzy, a particular horse I didn't normally use. I didn't normally use for the lessons. The student had begged and begged me to let her ride him. Until one day I'd made an impulsive promise. The day you get 100 on your chart at home is the day you'll ride Fuzzy. Well, that was all it took for her to get an A+. Today was the day. A promise is a promise, I said when she hopped out of the car. Her parents agreed. She'd more than earned the privilege. I enlisted 5 other employees to walk with Fuzzy, just to be safe. 2 on each side, another holding the lead. All 6 of us prayed over Fuzzy before we started. God, you know he isn't used to children and needs you with him today. Fuzzy was good as gold. So was my student. Maybe God is watching the farm just that closely, I thought as we walked around the back pasture. Let's go down to the driveway, I said. Children loved the sound the horses made as they clip-clopped on the pavement. We walked over the grass and were just passing the oak tree in the backyard when Fuzzy suddenly reared up on his hind legs. Hold on to his mane, I shouted. Hold on to his mane. My voice was harsher than I ever used with children, but I didn't want the rider to panic. And pull the reins back. That would just make the horse rear higher. It felt like a full minute before Fuzzy's front hoofs finally hit the ground again. I glared at him furiously for scaring us like that. Then I took a deep breath and turned to my student. Honey, I'm sorry I raised my voice, I said. The little girl looked down at me with a look of outright disdain. Miss Jill, she said, as if my behavior was not only silly but downright rude. There were angels all around me. I was fine. The girl was ready to continue her ride, and all my doubts were lifted from my shoulders. My name might be the one on the deed to the farm, but God and I are running this business together. And here's a picture. I'm guessing that's Fuzzy and the little girl and that woman. Children can see angels when adults can't because they're innocent and their minds, they accept that stuff. They can see it still. Kids see stuff like that adults can't because they're so innocent. But I hope you guys enjoyed that story, and I hope you guys have a great night.